Now, in that sector, there is, as you saw, existing border fencing, which was built under President Clinton, an Operation Gatekeeper. It has worked pretty well over the years, keeping illegals out of the U.S. Unfortunately, too many illegals still slip through unguarded areas, including along the U.S.-Mexico border in South Arizona. And one Phoenix area woman knows all too well the scourge of this wide-open border and the lack of interior enforcement, especially during the previous administration. Joining me now from Phoenix, Arizona, illegal immigration activist Marianne Mendoza. Marianne, I want to hear your story in just a moment, but first, I saw on your Twitter feed you were chronicling the president's visit to the border, and you had posted multiple videos. This is a personal matter to you, is it not?
Absolutely. You know, my nightmare started in 2014 when my Mesa police officer son was killed by a repeat illegal criminal who was shown leniency by our court system and didn't show up for his court date in Colorado and was traveling back and forth over the southern border many, many times till he was caught again in 2002, taken back to Adams County, Colorado, and shown leniency and released back out onto our streets. And then he ultimately killed my son. Sergeant
Brandon Mendoza was only 32 years old when this illegal alien rammed him on the freeway just outside of Phoenix. You know, I introduced you as an activist, but I get the sense you're probably more grieving mother than activist, but certainly still an activist. But this illegal that you're describing was on the lam in the United States for 2 decades, was he not? And is a prime example of what is wrong with our current system.
Absolutely. You know, the biggest thing that I found out after my son was killed, like I said, is the leniency that our court system showed these illegals. And in the state of Arizona, when an illegal alien is sentenced for a crime, they only have to serve 50% of their time, when an Arizona citizen has to serve at least 85% of their time. And that's why they were trying to get Grant's Law passed in Arizona, but the Arizona Senate, rejected it. That would have the illegal alien serve at least 85 to 100% of their time. And these illegals know, number one, that our politicians and our court system, protect them. And then you have sanctuary cities on top of it. So there is no protection for American citizens when it comes to the illegal alien problem.
But we should also know there's a judge in Colorado, or at least there was a judge in Colorado, who had this guy dead to rights, right? They extradited him to Colorado for crimes there. And the judge gave him a slap on the wrist, gave him probation, out on the street. Boom, go ahead and kill.
Exactly. And that happens daily in our country.
All right, so in January, I believe it was, of 2017, a little over a year ago, you traveled to Washington, D.C., and you're able to meet with the President of the United States. What was that about? What was it like?
They were signing the creation of the Voice Office, and it was a great thing because, I was lucky that the killer of my son was also killed in the accident. I know a lot of parents and families who deal with these criminals that are just roaming our streets. They don't have a place to call. They don't have a place to keep track of them. And, these jails do release them. And so the Voice Office was created to help these families keep track of these illegal criminals through our court system and what's happening with their cases.
Makes you a little bit warmer in your heart, I would imagine, to have Donald Trump in the White House versus Hillary Clinton?
Absolutely. He's been by our side since the beginning. He's the one who brought this issue to the forefront and made people realize, there are more people killed every year in the United States, Americans, by illegal aliens than those that were killed in 9/11. And that was a tragic, tragic incident. But Americans need to realize more people are being killed every year by illegal aliens in our country. It's a daily trickle of people's death. Hundreds of thousands of people are affected by illegal alien crime that aren't killed. And Americans need to wake up to the magnitude of this that is happening.
That brings us back to the wall. I asked rather plaintively, how many more Brandon Mendozas will there be? How many more Kate Steinleys will there be before Congress wakes up on just this issue alone of funding the wall? When is Congress going to wake up and say, hey, there's a reason why Donald Trump is in the White House. One of the main reasons he was elected because he said he was going to build the wall. So Donald Trump has to go down to the border and remind Congress of his pledge to secure the southern border, and they still haven't appropriated money to do this. What's it going to take?
Well, what Americans need to realize is the amount of money that the United States spends on illegal aliens yearly could fund 8 walls along our southern border. And so we've got to stop supporting these people and putting money where it should be in a way to protect Americans and protect our country. A group of us parents who've lost our children to illegal aliens have created AVIAC, which is Advocates for Illegal Alien Crime, and our website's aviac.us. We're asking people to please join, tell us their stories that they've been affected by crime, come out of the shadows, and start making this a public statement. Don't be afraid to talk about the fact that you've been affected by illegal alien crime.
And yet, right next door, you have this state called California, which is essentially aiding and abetting illegal aliens and has a giant neon sign saying, come on in, we're welcoming illegal aliens. And you, the activists, and your group are trying to stop it. It's got to be a little bit on the frustrating side, since California is such a vastly larger state with more people in it, and let's face it, more power.
Correct. And a lot of the illegal criminals here from Arizona do go over to California, to San Francisco, and places. But we have got to stop these elected officials who are placing illegal alien criminal lives at a higher stand, a higher place in their concerns than they are about American citizens. And we've got to get these people out of office who choose to protect illegals over us.
And that's got to be up to the people of California to stop this nonsense and stop allowing their elected officials to run roughshod over the United States Constitution and federal law, federal statute. It's up to the people of California to be more like you in your situation, in your fight, in your quest to stop the scourge of illegal immigration in this country. And we'll tell you, we have chronicled, Marianne, your son on this program before I met you. This is the first time I've been able to speak to you. On this program multiple times, because I heard about it back in 2014. And I remember saying to myself what a devastating thing that would be for a family and for an entire community, for that matter. But this kind of stuff, the death of your son, Brandon, who will not be forgotten on this program, needs to come to an end. Marianne, thank you.